Hey everyone, and welcome back to some more esports talk. We had Crimsix dropping some heat on the timeline while he was streaming just the other day as he was talking about salaries in the CDL that is in the Call of Duty League. Now, just to preface this with a little bit of information, just in case you don't know, the minimum salary in the CDL is almost 51k. Then we have a maximum cap. We had it being, I think it was 1.6 million. And so if you went over that as a team, if all of your people that you're paying for combined ended up being more than 1.6 million, then you would get taxed on that additional cost.
When you have 1/3 of the league paying the absolute minimums on salaries, that is a huge fucking problem. That is a fucking joke. That is a joke. Oh, you want fucking 20 grand more than the minimum? Nope. Get the fuck out. Go get an AM. Like, and I'm sorry, and I probably will I'll definitely get fined for this. I'll definitely get a call from Spencer. But like, how the fuck is that how is that allowed? I'm being dead ass serious. Like, it makes me sick. It's like literally like, oh, you don't want to take the absolute dog shit minimum, which is like, I mean, you know how I said 8x.
So he comes out swinging already, saying a third of the league is just making pennies, just making that minimum amount of, 50k as the minimum salary. He also says that a lot of teams operate in the sense of, well, if you're not willing to take that minimum, guess what? There's an amateur player who would love that spot and would happily take that 50k to play for the team.
It is like it's more. There's probably a couple players who get paid more than me now, but like a third of the league is saying we're gonna pay you in goddamn dimes, like what the fuck, dude? What's the math on that, man? What is like, and I'm sorry, like, the only thing that like pisses me off the most about this shit is that like the people who can stop them and say like this is not right are fucking not saying a damn thing about it. It's okay. Well, I guarantee you after this video, it might not be okay.
The fact that he's speaking out about this, of course, is a big deal, especially as probably one of the better known and better paid pros in the scene. He even says that he's likely going to get fined for the situation, which perhaps we'll hear about later on. But because of this, he got into a bit of an interaction with the general manager of LAG. Alex criticized his point, saying there's literally one team paying minimum consistently. Where are these other three teams? Just because you're bottom 4 doesn't mean you aren't treating players correctly and paying good salaries. Crim said, what I'm saying is that if you're in the window of a deserving salary of 100 to 200k, there's a huge chance you either get your salary cut down to a fourth of what you deserve, or these leech teams forcefully and financially start making players retire. Only one team's paying minimum overall. Some have players on minimum, but it's, with a few exceptions, for a reason given the overall budget, not just because they want to offer a fourth of what they deserve, which is extremely subjective. That's simply not true. And even if it's say 20k over the min, 70k x4 is potentially less than a single mid-tier player salary. LAG is not in that 1/3. You guys actually overpaid your roster in 2021, in my opinion. Borgs paid 15 to 25 mil to buy into the CDL, and they didn't budget things out. Seems pretty stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. My biggest worry is the consistency. The teams don't even care if their team is performing poorly year after year as long as cost is minimized. When it comes to retirement, until there's expansion, older players who aren't being picked for true veteran leadership or a specific role will always have to accept what the next up will. Sucks, but it's the unfortunate reality of the position. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not really sure where I land on this. Of course it sucks, and I'm sure a lot of players are getting manipulated into taking that minimum salary, but at the same time, you're aware of what the minimum in the league is, and if you're negotiating with a team and they're only willing to pay you that, you also have the right to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this, I'll do a different route and I'll make money a different way. And so you always have that other option, but it's definitely complicated, especially when you get into all of these different things with the taxes on that going over the salary cap, and maybe what you're paying a big player, or the supply and demand of having so many amateur players who want to be in the league and who would gladly take that 50K. And so it's just a complicated situation. Kevin Hitt then put out articles saying that Overwatch and CDL might be dumping the competitive balance tax and maximum player salary cap. This is likely due to a recent US Department of Justice Antitrust Division investigation into whether our soft cap on salaries violated the 1890 Sherman Antitrust Act, because league players aren't under the protection or bargaining power of a player's union. If this is true, this would likely expose the teams that really are just, in simple terms, being cheapos at this point, because if there is no tax and there is no cap for the salary, then people who are saying, well, we can't pay you anymore because of the cap, and if we go over it, then we get taxed on it. Now they won't be able to say that, and they won't have that excuse any longer. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is a good thing for players in the league, because they'll have a little bit more negotiating power to say, well, you don't really have a reason to pay me this, and this is what I'm worth. So at the end of the day, we'll just have to see if this does in fact go into effect and how that will affect the salaries in the CDL. But Crimsix seems to think that people are just getting paid pennies, and it is not fair and needs to change. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Until next time, I'll catch you later.